70% of women who have a problem, pregnant women who have a problem, don't go anywhere. I think the best advice is ask yourself more questions. Why am I doing this? ChatGPT is great, but it's not the finished article. An entrepreneur, you work 70 hours a week? It can be hard. In order for you to function, you need to look after yourself.
I found out that something's wrong with me. What's next?
Welcome to Maximus Odyssey.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Maximus Odyssey. Today I'm here with
Michel Valstar.
Michel Valstar, the academic from Nottingham University turned CEO and founder of a really exciting AI-based startup called BlueSkye AI, where they use, I'm sure he'll explain it better, but exciting AI technology, camera vision to analyze mimics of the face, people's emotions, and help them, let's say, maybe go through difficult emotional states like depression, stuff like that. And I'm sure we'll learn a lot about all of that in just a few seconds.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. So basically what we do at the company is we recognize facial muscle actions.
Yeah.
And the tone of your voice and any other behavior that we can sense just using a camera and a microphone, and just any camera, microphone that you have in your tablet or your phone. And from that we then learn to recognize depression, anxiety, and a number of other conditions like that change the way you behave. And because we can measure what you're doing, how you're behaving, we can start saying, oh, maybe he's behaving like this now because he's developing dementia. And if you get that early, you can start doing things about it. So everything we do is about early detection and then monitoring any progression of these diseases.
Very cool. Very cool. So you could, let's say, in a massive company like what's around here? Let's say HSBC behind us.
Yeah.
Thousands of employees.
Yep.
They could put it in their, let's say, Google Meets or team meetings.
They
and
can
record how well their people are feeling, and maybe if they're headed towards some medical illnesses.
Yes. However, we are very conscious that this should not become surveillance technology.
Yeah.
So everything we do is actually runs on edge. So that people can integrate it on their own mobile phones and on their own devices, so they can control their, the way they work with it. Now, the way we see a company like HSBC use this then is to do that at an epidemiological level, saying London has an issue, right? Or a certain sector of their population has an issue because they only get the aggregated data, and then the individuals can make their own, can seek their own help and get improvement for their own conditions. But we don't really want to have a situation where your depression levels are being used for your performance review or your HR promotion.
Interesting. Okay, so maybe let's put a pin in this and come back. How did you get into researching emotion in the first place? What was your upbringing, let's say, Rockies?
Yeah,
so you got inspired?
That's right. So it's quite funny, and I suppose it happens a lot. My father was a psychiatrist.
Oh.
And he always wanted to become an electrical engineer when he was younger.
Yeah.
And I became an electrical engineer, and now here I am doing sort of psychiatric work. So that's almost like destiny. I got really interested in the medical side when I moved to Nottingham. So that's about 10, 11 years ago. Before that, I already worked on faces and facial expressions for 10 years before that. But really, when I went to Nottingham, I started looking at what effects do these medical conditions have on that. I liked AI from quite a young age, really, because it felt like you could do something about the world. You could model the world and then have this playground in which you could make things better.
Yeah.
And I think that has always appealed to me, to try and make things better for everyone, really. And that's what we continue to do. We try to build technology that empowers people to look after themselves better. And I mean that.
That's important.
Yeah.
So how, maybe for someone who's not, that much into tech just yet.
Sure.
let's say, what could I do, for example, after this interview to be better, feel better,
Oh,
go
okay.
in that direction?
Well, it depends on the sort of the medical condition that you're looking at. But let's take depression as an example, right?
Sure.
It is relatively well known that
Been there.
yeah, well, so you probably know that a lot of it can be helped by better sleep, better exercise, better food, diet.
Mhm.
But that's just a starting point, right?
Foundation.
So that's where that's a foundation where you can start. And if that then doesn't help, right, then you need to start looking at hopefully just CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy,
Mhm.
talking therapies and the likes. And ultimately, if that doesn't help, you might have to go into sort of antidepressants and similar.
Yeah.
But the point is that with
Psychedelics.
psychedelics, you know that they're testing them now, right?
Yeah, it's
For
exciting topics.
yeah. And that must be a trip. But the thing is that if you use our technology, you can now measure which of these treatments and lifestyle changes actually work for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that means you can get people on the right treatment path faster with fewer delays in between.
That's very good.
And I think that will really help. The standard here in the UK is that if you go to your doctor, your GP, with your concerns, they'll say like, well, make some changes and come back in 3 months, and then we'll talk again.
Yeah.
But during those 3 months, there's no data whatsoever. So what is this doctor going to base that on, right? And what we're giving the world is the ability to make this whole process better.
Amazing. How is it going so far?
It's a roller coaster,
Mm-hmm.
mostly up, some downs, of course. It's super exciting, and I in a sense wish I started becoming an entrepreneur earlier.
Uh-huh.
I really enjoy it, and I would do it again.
Yeah,
Definitely.
interesting. One of my passionate topics is education.
Sure.
But at the same time, I kind of dropped out of the typical school system at 16 because I was fed up with the typical education.
Yeah.
So, and you've kind of gone all the way and used it to your advantage from what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
But there were some, let's say, tensions as well. So maybe for someone who's, directed or still in university, kind of going in that path, but wants to, not be stuck there, let's say. What helped you transition into making your scientific skills profitable?
Ultimately, I think it's solving real problems. It's about solving a real problem, and then in particular, we're looking at what are the big problems. What is a little problem that I can solve, or what is a big problem I can solve?
Yeah.
And quite often that is just a hunch, right? I think I can solve that big problem. There'll be steps on the way that I don't know how to answer, but I think we can do that. Go after those and don't go after the little ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's one thing. And it's also one thing that
what would be like an example of a big problem?
Dementia, right? Okay, we think that we can clubber the problem of early detection of dementia, either alone or with some partners, but we think we can make a real big dent into that, right? And that's what we're going after, because that is like 240 million people every year, right? And so you're helping
dying from
but being diagnosed and
then that would be a lot.
A big problem is, of course, how do you then do the QALY? As in, how do you extend not just people's lives, because you don't want to extend suffering. How do you actually extend people's quality of life for multiple years? But that's where working with partners who deliver treatment comes in, because we're not a treatment company, we're a sensing company.
Yeah, it's exciting.
I mean, thinking of what you just asked about, what can you do? I think having a goal of what you want to achieve with life also really helps, right? Education isn't necessarily, formal education isn't necessarily going to get you to where you want to go. If you want to do fundamental research in AI, then I'm afraid, you do need to go through that process, or at least using the formal educational process is useful because it gives you all the tools you need to do that. You can learn it on your own, that's fine, but I don't think it's any more efficient. However, if you have another goal, like becoming an entrepreneur, I don't think you need the formal education path all the way at all.
Yeah.
And experience is probably a better teacher.
Very true. So what was your like first step towards entrepreneurship?
Selling, we started having, okay, let me take it actually one step back.
Doesn't have to be with this specific
No,
business,
that's
right?
fine. I had a really, really good mentor, my PC supervisor, my Pantich, and she really had a fantastic team of researchers around her. So when I then went out, because I was her first PhD student, when I left her group, I sort of like, I'm a clone of my PC supervisor. How am I going to differentiate myself from her? Now, they work very much on getting the highest accuracy in everything. So I thought, like, you know what? I moved to Nottingham, and there was this mixed reality group who worked a lot with artists, and I thought, like, I'm gonna try and make technology that actually works, right? Not just that gets the highest accuracy, but that actually works to such an extent that this can be used by artists, this can be used by people out in the open. So focusing on faster algorithms, more robust algorithms. So I really started working on that as a solution, and that gave me a way to differentiate myself. And that meant then that industry saw these things like, hey, this isn't the thing that needs 3 hours to process a 1-minute video. This works, right? So they were getting interested in it, and they started wanting to get licenses. So we sold licenses to our face tracker and our facial muscle action detector through the university. And then I noticed that I really liked helping people just getting a better outcome. You know, for them to have a good, you know, that they achieve what they wanted to achieve with our technology. And that was the bug that got me into, okay, let's make a business. Because, of course, the university is not well placed to do that at all.
Scale.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Every contract took, far too long through the university. Yeah.
How long?
Between 3 and 6 months. Anything that should have been no more than 6 weeks at most.
Yeah. So you're like multiplying the timeline.
Yeah.
By being attached to
and
a legacy institution.
And it wasn't set up to then deliver support and to deliver improvements over time and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. Would you say that you were like building in public as well? That attracted those industrial
I did.
clients?
Yeah. And exactly. So there is, when you're an academic, there's no stealth mode. Really, right? In fact,
you
publish all the time, and
studies.
The only thing that keeps you ahead of others is basically that it takes time before the publication comes out. So you need to work on the next thing while that's happening. But yeah, you're building in public. Yeah, that's very different. And in fact, partially because of that, we continue doing that as a company. Because it sort of worked for us. We already had the attention. So we thought, like, well, let's keep that up. Let's just keep building in public.
Yeah.
And yes, that opens up a little bit to competition and things, but there aren't very many companies or people who can do what we do. So we feel comfortable that we can do that. Yeah.
So what is your like North Star goal with this project?
My North Star goal is, honestly, for as many as possible people as possible to get an early detection of their mental health and their dementia states, cognitive decline, themselves at home in their car from their mobile phone. Empower people to get that early warning, do something about it, and then live longer, happier ever after. Not ever after, that clearly.
We'll see about that. Maybe some cryogenics.
Yeah. But yeah, no, so it really is about empowering people to take control and help them be the best person they can be.
Yeah. I found out that something's wrong with me. What's next?
Yeah, it's okay. So, like I said, that's not what we do. We don't deliver the therapy, but what we
direct them. Maybe.
Do work exactly. We work with partners. We're creating partnerships with both in the healthcare industry and with the industry of digital therapeutics providers. Where exactly it'll be a handoff. Given that you're, let's say, in the orange zone, maybe you want to look at, this set of mindfulness activities that you could do. And there'll be probably a commercial arrangement there where we get an affiliate fee or something similar like that. And then if you get into the red zone, it becomes a diagnostic referral. And depending then on the territory where you are, whether it's in the US or EU, you'll have different ways of handing that over to a medical healthcare system, and depending on the insurance policies, for example. Yeah.
And so what is your, let's say, studied or medical expertise in this direction?
So I don't have any medical expertise myself. And we rely on medical advisors to the company. We have always worked with clinicians from the day we started on this topic. We work with the Institute of Mental Health in Nottingham, the Biomedical Research Centre in Nottingham. We have clinical advisors in London and elsewhere. So, but it's all, in dialogue with them. We're running a clinical trial. So it's co-designing and more often also taking ideas to them and asking them how they would use that and what is the strongest unmet need in this area.
That makes sense.
Yeah, well,
and
I
so,
hope.
Very cool, very cool. And I'm sure, you, me, I think everyone gets sometimes to a place of mental struggle.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be, let's say, like a full cognitive decline, but it can be a bad day at work or a messed up relationship, whatever. It just happens, right?
Yeah.
So from your experience and working with the experts, could you share maybe like the first 3 steps, or what could be the first directions when you realize something's wrong with me, and instead of going to a bar and trying to escape it, how can I act to make it better?
I think and therein lies the biggest problem, and that is that we are very bad at noticing gradual changes, right?
Like a frog in a slowly boiling water.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then when you notice, it might be too late. So that's why we're trying to design technologies the way that our technology is delivered, in a way that you do it anyway, regularly. So for our pregnant women, we built a diary, a journal, voice journaling. So it's well known that actually the act of journaling itself is helpful. So we do a voice, a video journaling version of that. So that's A, helpful itself, and B, it's if people get into that habit, they will then get an early warning. Now,
and even being conscious about it is already a great step forward.
It is. So now, what if you don't do that? Well, then I think it still helps that if you get to that point where you feel like, actually, I think something might be wrong. There's still a lot of bias about talking about that with other people.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just making this up. People are kind of far too harsh to themselves, right? And if you then did a little test like that yourself with a non-judgmental piece of technology, which says you should speak to someone.
Yeah.
That almost gives you the license to then to go to somebody. It's not me. It's the device that told me to seek help. So here permission. I am. Yeah, you got permission. Yeah. And we hope that will allow so many people to go. Especially for pregnant women, there's a lot of worry as well. That if they're going to someone about this, 70% of women who have a problem, pregnant women who have a problem, don't go anywhere. They talk it down how serious it is because they're worried that somebody takes away their baby, right? Which is, not the case. It really, really, if you have a mild depression or even serious depression, they're not going to take away your child, right? And again, having technology tell you that will really help.
That's true. Yeah, I've seen interesting experiments done with ChatGPT, turning them into, or I tried myself and turned ChatGPT to my personal coach.
Yeah.
But it's definitely kind of still far off from the human experience.
Yeah.
Talking with an actual therapist who's got years and has catches the little mimics,
Sure.
catches a lot more than just, the absolute kind of words that are coming out of your mouth.
Sure.
There's so much more information.
There is. ChatGPT is great, but it's not the finished article, right? And I do see opportunities for large language models and generative AI to help, in particular, in scaling these solutions, so you get more. Let's say that the same consultant can service more people better, more efficiently. So I think that there's a role there, I think, but at the moment it's not the full solution. No,
Absolutely, yeah. A little offhand topic.
Okay.
If all of a sudden you'd have to leave this project,
Okay.
you had, let's say, you sold it for $1 billion.
What would I do?
You can go into the next big thing.
Climate. Yeah.
Climate.
Yeah. I'll keep it a bit cryptic, but I used to be a lumberjack, and I cut down a lot of trees in my life, and I think I want to make amends for that.
That's nice.
Yeah,
trees deserve it.
They do. I think there's climate is a super multi-factorial problem.
Yeah.
I would quite like to do something about deforestation, reforestation, trees, and the likes. Trees are your friends. They give us cooling. They give us their carbon capture. They also provide ecosystems for not just for animals as a real ecosystem, but also for the livelihoods of people themselves, right? So yeah. Anyway, that is what I would do, and then maybe a little sailing boat to for the weekends.
Yeah, of course.
You said I had how much money to spend?
Just $1 billion.
Okay, just fine.
Around little.
Yeah, sure. A little
9 zeros.
little boat.
Yeah. Bezos bought one for $500 million.
No.
I think
it needs to be a sailing yacht. That's all. And then, but yeah, no. I would,
no pollution. Just
that's right.
Using the natural elements.
But I definitely caught the bug, right? So I would be doing another startup after this. Yeah.
Exciting. How has, let's say, your academic network reacted to you going in this direction?
Very positively, to be honest. So I was worried about that a little bit, that they would shun me. But no, they very positively. They're excited. Even our head of school was very excited about it. Is following our progress. Of course, they think it's a shame that I'm not there at the school anymore. But at the same time, it's great to see one of your colleagues go onto a different path and have success there.
Make some real impact. I mean,
yes,
you can do it in the school as well.
That's not how they view it. That's how I view it. But I don't know. Having seen people around you take a slightly different path to what the rest of the group are doing, actually makes it probably healthier for the rest of the group as well, because they now see what they're not doing, and then going like, why am I not doing that? Well, actually, because I wouldn't want to do that. I really enjoy what I'm currently doing, and if that becomes a conscious decision, I think people are also happier with their jobs, or make a decision to move.
Yeah, we all have our role in this world.
Yeah, we do.
It reminds me of I think Elon Musk said this in one interview, where people ask him like, what if someone solves electric cars before you, or something like that?
Yeah,
he's like, well, great.
Yeah.
If Bill Gates, solves healthcare, then I can move to the next thing.
Yeah.
It's just helping each other out.
Yeah.
It's very lovely. Sweet. So, okay, I have 2 more questions.
Sure.
I'd love to dive a little bit. So we, talk about all this positivity and like people reacting well. I've heard so many great things, but I'm sure there must be some darker.
Yeah, I've got a few there. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Darker secrets or moments that you've had to overcome.
Yeah. Well, I went through a personal phase that was very difficult for me, and that coincided with a difficult seed raise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was tricky. That was hard. I had to dig very deep. I was very fortunate that my board and advisors were very positive and supportive there.
Yeah.
So it took some real time, but I came out so much better. So that was one that was both personal, but of course it affected work a lot. You know, an entrepreneur, you work 70 hours a week, 60, 70 hours a week. It can be hard, right? So
Yes. And so, if you could be a little more specific, other than people, let's say, being nice to you,
No, I mean,
what helped?
no. Well, they literally gave me we allocated budget to get me a coach
Oh,
and
nice.
and work through that, right? So it was a business coach, but it was one that was very much focused on getting me also
Yeah.
emotionally back together. Right?
Like
So-
a real project.
Yeah. And then the good thing was that the coach had a real goal, set fixed timeline. So it was, it was project based
Nice.
coaching, but that really worked, and that was painful, but worked. Yeah.
And you came out stronger.
And
on
I
the other
came out stronger, happier. Yeah.
Now you can teach others.
I suppose it helped
Maybe
to teach
share
others.
the journey.
Yeah.
Great. Cool. Well, and that's the last one that I have for you. Since you're now here.
Yep.
If you could look back 10, 20 years
Yep.
into your younger self.
Yep.
With the knowledge that you have today.
Yep.
What advice would you pass on to, let's say, someone just entering university or about to?
Oh, I think the best advice is like do everything you do more consciously and ask yourself more questions. Why am I doing this? I'm not saying you're doing it for the wrong reasons, right? You might conclude saying, yeah, I'm doing this because, I always wanted to go to university and I want to experience it. Fine. But I think sitting down, stepping back and looking at the path you're on and going, well, what are the other things I could do? What do I want to achieve, right? Is really helpful. You don't have to act immediately on that, but just putting out those options is the starting point, right? And just being more aware of yourself in the world, I think would be. I would have liked that, and I think other people might really benefit from that too.
It's amazing, yeah. I've been trying to incorporate that more into my life as well recently. Like it's good to be focused and drive your projects forward, while at the same time, on regular basis, like take the bird's eye view, assess the situation, see, okay, is it bringing me what I want this to be bringing me, or am I just fulfilling someone else's expectations?
Yeah. Do you know Ray Dalio?
Yeah.
So he's one of the greatest inventors in the world. He basically invented algorithmic trading, and he's super big on meditation. Right? He completely got that you need in order for you to function, you need to look after yourself, and a lot of that is your mental health. So I don't think it's a softy thing to do. Introspection, taking breaks is important.
Yeah, it's like a necessary project.
It is.
If you don't do it, it can stall your funding.
Yep.
And your partners will have to hire you a business coach to pull you through.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that happens,
Yeah,
Happens,
it's necessary. Amazing.
Good.
Thank you so much. Can I hug you?
Yes, you can.
This has been so good. Thank you.
Good, Max.
I'm sure this has been a powerful learning exercise. Where can we learn more? BlueSkye AI?
BlueSky.com. Sky is EYE, like the eye. You can learn more there, and just get in touch if anyone wants. Very happy to speak about these kind of things.
Exciting. Yeah. So you're mainly talking to, let's say, founders of companies, investors, funds.
Yep. And of course, customers. Always open to speak to customers.
Cool.
Thank you very
I'd love
much.
to try it out.
Cheers.
And talk to you soon. Bye.
Now, subscribe. so you don't miss out on the next episode. And please share this with your friends if you think this could help them.